So I'm in on Yahoo Answers, religion spirituality section, and people are always mentioning Thor, 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 Thor. I'm like Thor. They're always mentioning Thor. Like, who's Thor? I didn't know about Thor. I didn't know about Norse mythology. I didn't know about any of that. All I knew was Jesus. That's all I knew of was Jesus and the Bible God, etc. But they're mentioning Thor, Thor, Thor. So I keep seeing this name, so I decide to search him up. I search him up, and the first thing that actually came up was the Marvel Comics Thor. And that linked again to the Norse mythology Thor, etc. So I go to the wiki page, Thor in the Comics wiki page. 1 second. I go to the wiki page, and I'm reading about this. What's going on here? And I'm reading about this hero, this character, and it's so interesting. Here's a god, who lives in this royal planet, who's a superhero, who has this hammer, who looks cool, who's like the god of thunder. Like, when you hear thunder, it's like either thunder may scare you, you may tremble when you hear thunder, or thunder kind of either relaxes you or soothes you. The god of thunder, and not just that, he's like the god of the weather. Like, I'm reading his bio and his abilities, and this guy can do like almost anything and everything. This guy can do almost anything and everything. And I just kept reading about him, YouTubing him, and reading about him. I'm like, this character is really cool. This is a cool character. I like this guy. And ever since, it's been about Thor. And look at his but first I gotta give mention. Marvel Thor was created in 1962, August of 1962. First comic was Journey into Mystery number 83. He was created by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. He's an Asgardian. And again, I believe in the Norse myths, they call their Asgard as Asir, I believe. He's an Asgardian. Again, Asgardians in the comics, in the Marvel Universe, is one of the most powerful planets, a group of like beings up all over for the entire Marvel Universe. And I think that's, honestly, I think that's amazing. He's his team affiliations are the Avengers, the Warriors 3, Thor Corps, talk about another day, God Squad, talk about another day, and Avengers Unity Squad. His notable aliases are Sigmund or Siegfried. There's Dr. Donald Blake, that was his origin human name. Jake Olsen, guys I've never heard of before. Sigurd Jarlson, Eric Matterson, talk about him another day. Odin's son and Herald of Thunder, or I like to call him the Thunderer, or the Thunder God, or the God of Entrances, etc. And his abilities. This is not even everything. This Thor can do way more than this. Thor's abilities are superhuman strength, speed. He has the durability, longevity, abilities via Mjolnir, interdimensional, teleportation, electricity manipulation, flight, weather manipulation. This is nothing. Thor can do way more things than what is shown here. Way more things than shown here. And I remember in a video, Stan Lee, created Thor. So he created Thor because he wanted someone to be stronger than the Hulk. And he was like, how do you make someone stronger than the Hulk? And then he looked it up and said, maybe a god. And he said he looked up, I guess, the Egyptian gods. Oh, okay, they've already been done. He looked up the Greek gods. Oh, okay, they've already been done. Then he came up to the Norse mythology. During that time, not many people knew about the Norse myths. And he looked up Thor. He had this hammer, and he said, wow. And 1962, since then, Thor has, existed in our society. The mighty Thor. And again, one of the greatest superheroes of all time. And there's you can't compare. There's no other superhero you can compare to that is universal. Superhero that is universal. In the news, Thor Ragnarok, Winter Soldier trend as Marvel fans debate the best MCU movies. Personally, I don't like debating which movies are the best. I think me personally, I'm gonna choose Thor movies. Yes, Avengers because they have Thor in it. The only reason why I'm watching these movies is because of Thor. If I didn't hear about this Thor god, this Thor, I would not care for Marvel. If Thor was DC and I heard of him, I would probably be more of a DC person. If Thor was from a different company and I've heard of him, I'd probably be from that company. So, for me, it's not. It doesn't really matter which movies are better. I think each movie is, competing against their own self. I hate all the debates and ranking. It's nonsense. Each movie competes against itself or its own series. Let's give it that. Which is better, Thor Ragnarok or Winter Soldier? I guess they're two different movies. I mean, if you want a more grounded, political, human, I guess, realistic movie, or a soldier movie, if you're a Captain America fan, want to see Winter Soldier, want to see Falcon, you go with Winter Soldier. But if you're more of a cosmic, you like super-powered superheroes, you're a Thor supporter, you like Thor, you like Asgard, interested in Loki, you're interested in the Norse myths, you go with Ragnarok. But since I'm more of a Thor guy, and again, the only reason why I'm watching these movies is because of Thor. That's the only reason why I'm watching the movies is because of Thor. Which movie is better? Again, they're totally different. They're totally different movies, and again, they all compete against their own selves. And if Disney, Marvel wanted to make great movies, they could make great movies. And I'll leave it at this. I think Thor movies could be done a lot better. If Thor was just a standalone movie, I believe Thor movies would have been a lot better than what we've seen. Again, in the MCU, they haven't even scratched the surface with this character. They haven't even scratched the surface with Asgard or with the Norse, mythology. With MCU Thor, it's a pretty basic Thor. It's more basic, really simple Thor compared to the comics. Comic Thor is, man, if comic Thor was in the MCU, then the movies with Thor, Avengers, would probably last half an hour. Because Thor would just solve the problem easily. Odin could solve the problems easily. Asgard could solve the problem easily. But MCU Thor has been, what they call it, nerfed. Thor is like a super mega super soldier in the MCU. That's just my take on it. Here's a funny one. Thor movie writer reveals DC character who could lift Mjolnir, aka Thor's hammer. So this one was, I did not see this coming. And they say Joe West from the Flash series would be worthy enough to lift up Mjolnir? This guy always reminds me of Karl Malone. But anyways, and I don't know. I'm not sure if this is a joke or not. Like I'm really not sure if this is some kind of a joke. I've seen the first 2 seasons of Flash, and they're okay. Joe was okay. I didn't notice anything that's like worthiness of Mjolnir. Personally, I think this is a big joke. I thought you would have said Flash, maybe Flash, maybe even Arrow, but Joe West, I don't know. I don't know. I would say no. Personally, I would say no. I'm gonna come back for part 3.